Hello everybody and welcome. I hope you're well. But today we have a very interesting subject. In one of my last videos about HPV, human papillomavirus, which I'm gonna leave you the link right here so you can watch it, somebody made a very interesting comment and I thought this is worth a whole video. So let's get to it. In that video, I explained that normally with people with HPV or human papillomavirus, it's always a conflict with skirt chasing men. What in Spanish we call picaflor, and picaflor is that bird, hummingbird, that goes from flower to flower. So people that have HPV, they have a conflict in their lives with men that had been a skirt chasing man or a picaflor. They had been cheaters. So it could be a woman with HPV and she has a conflict with that because she maybe had a relationship with somebody that cheated on her, but also maybe her father cheated on her mother. And it could be a man that maybe his father was the cheater of the family. And now he's trying to do all the opposite, but now he finds a woman or a man that cheats on them. So, and this person said to me, well, I had been a bit of a cheater, but I don't have HPV. So that's why we're doing this video. So if you have the symptom, and let's see what is a symptom. A symptom could be a headache, a symptom could be a broken leg, it could be cancer, it could be gastritis, anything physically, biologically, there could be a symptom. But a symptom also could be, I always attract men that cheat. I always get a boss a boss that doesn't respect me. I always get this kind of co-workers that don't respect me also. Every job that I go, they never value me. That could be a symptom. Another symptom could be I cannot generate abundance in my life. I cannot generate money. Every time I try to make money, I always have an issue. That is also a symptom. If it's repeated once at least, that is a symptom. If you keep attracting, let's say, men that are aggressive with you, that is a symptom. So, or women, or you may be attracting women, a woman that is always bossy with you, always you keep repeating that pattern, that is a symptom. So if we do repeat that or we have a physical symptom, it's because it's always a story behind. Now, it could be the story, you could have the story, so I'm a cheater and I don't have HPV. Because it's all about perception. One part is perception and then it's another part of the story. But one part is perception. So let's say, and I put this as an example on my reply for this person. I said, so let's pretend me and you, we go together in the same car. It doesn't matter who drives, you choose, doesn't matter. So we go in the same car and we have a car accident. The car gets destroyed, but thank God, we are both good. No scratches, nothing. We are both good. Next day, we have a chat about this, and you tell me that the car accident was the best thing that happened to you. Because after that happened, you realize how short life was, how you've been wasting your time, how you've been just dedicating your life to work and you had no priorities in life. I don't know. The car accident for you was a blessing. Now me in the other side, which we both together in the same car, we both no scratches, nothing. Me in the other side, now I have a fear to go out, a fear to cross the street, a fear to get in the car, to get in anybody's car, a fear to even get in the bus. Now, for me, the car accident was the worst thing that happened to me. Now I'm petrified to live life. So you see, two people, same situation, two different perceptions. And this is one because of perception of what we needed sometimes. Sometimes is how we want to take life. Now is another side, and that is our ancestors and how we repeat sometimes story from our ancestors without even knowing them. But we know the story is there. So that's why I'm saying, and I'm going to repeat this many times, if there is a symptom, that is the story. So let's pretend. So maybe your grandfather had a car accident and after that left him paralyzed, completely paralyzed. And that was terrible for the family. Or maybe he died. And that was terrible for the family. That was terrible because of the way they live. That situation was horrible. It was a lot of sadness and a lot of anger. Whatever was involved in that car accident that maybe my grandfather had. So unconsciously today, when I have that car accident, it takes me back to that part of my grandfather and how family live that car accident. So that is something that we do normally very unconsciously, but we go and we repeat those stories. So that car accident for you maybe was the best thing, but for me it triggered that unconscious memory of what that grandfather lived. So another example to put for this is infertility. So if you have infertility, it's because it's a story behind, or many in most cases with infertility, many stories behind of what happened to women in your family. Maybe it was many abortions, maybe your mother had many miscarriages, maybe your mother had a couple abortions and then had you. Your grandma maybe lost the baby. She gave birth to the baby, but the baby died right after. Or maybe your grandmother passed while giving birth. So those memories are still there in us. So there is an unconscious story. Be careful, says the subconscious. Do not get pregnant. Because if you get pregnant, you may repeat the story of your grandmother that passed away while giving birth. Or maybe be careful, don't get pregnant, because you may have to go through the same pain that your mom went when she had many miscarriages. So unconsciously we repeat the story, and that's why unconsciously the unconscious is saying, let me protect you. You're not gonna get pregnant, because if you get pregnant, you're gonna go through the same thing. Or it could be a woman that keeps repeating the stories of attracting a violent man or alcoholic man, because it's a story behind of what we know. And somebody that I admire a lot, which his name is Pablo Almazan, he says something like this: what gives life, we tend to repeat it. So let's say my mom was pregnant of me, and while she was pregnant, my father was very violent, and this is what gives me life in a way, because even though my father was very violent and he aggressive with my mother, which by the way is not my story, but I still was born after that. That gave me life. That kept me alive. So I may today have a tendency to attract those same men, like my father, violent and aggressive man, because that gave me life. Now, what tends to cause the death or separation, we try always to avoid it. So I have a very good example for this. So I had a case once, a lady that she got engaged many times, but she could never complete it. She could never get married. Something will always happen that the relationship before marriage will end. When we analyze her family tree, and funny enough, just 2 days before we had a consultation, her mom told her a very interesting story that she was not aware. And this happens a lot before sometimes I have sessions with people, because the information starts coming. And her mom told her that an aunt of her mother got married, and next day she went on her honeymoon, and on her way to her honeymoon she passed away, car accident, and she passed away just after she got married, day after. So what happens to this lady? Unconsciously she was carrying the story of that great aunt of hers, and for her getting married was dangerous. Be careful, the unconscious will say. You can get engaged, there's no problem with that. Do not get married, because if you get married, you may die like this lady did. I am happy to say, very happy to say, that this lady is not married yet, but I will give an update on this. But after we had the session, everything started to unfold and to flow, and all of those blockages that she had now to get married to this person that she's engaged, everything started opening up. Her wedding is in October, so I will keep you updated on this story. So if there is a symptom, her symptom is, I can get engaged, no issue, but I can't get married. It's because there was a story. So when we go there, we unblock those stories, we go and revive those stories in a very different way, with a very different end. We can change that. And we can stop being attached to that story, even though we didn't even know that auntie. And that's very common, because it's in our DNA, it's in our memory, it's in every cell of our body. We keep those memories, just like our DNA has a memory of the eyes the color of the eyes that you may have. Also, we have a memory about what those ancestors went through. So always, if there is a symptom, it's a story behind. It's telling you something. So, but you can have the story without having the symptoms. You may know about this auntie of yours, and no problem, you got married, no problem. It's just about how we perceive that, and how our lives perceive those situations, and how, this part is very important, how our family went through that situation. Because let's say my mother always had this terrible relationship with my father, very violent, but she never lived that in a very horrible way, which I have here stories. I hear about what's his name, Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. I was thinking about, yes, Matthew McConaughey has told in his book, one of his last book, about the story about his mother and his father, and how they live that story. And it was very violent, and it was crazy, and all of that is the way that family perceived that story. So that doesn't mean that Matthew today will repeat the story of his mom or his father, but he may even improve it. But that story has helped him to create the way he wants to have a relationship with his wife, but also how he perceived that story in his own way, and how even his mother perceived that story. Actually, that book is an amazing book. I truly recommend it. Green Lights is the book, and it just tells you that how perception is so important, and how he sees it maybe is not the way me and you will see that story, but that has shaped his life for better. So I hope this video has clarified that for you. And remember, if is there a symptom, always look at the what for. What is the here to teach me? What is the here that I have to learn from this? What is it that I have to? Because when we say why, oh, why I keep attracting this kind of man, why I always have health problems. The why refers to blaming somebody. Why it refers to blaming somebody. It could be God, it could be my boss, it could be my mom, my father. Why? Now when we change that and we start asking what for, so what for is this here to teach me? When you just do that switch of language and conscious, your life starts changing. I hope this video has helped you, and until next time, take care and bye-bye.